everyone. Hi, lovelies.
Hello.
Welcome to Business Blondes. Thursday comes around so quick. I love it. I love the chance to be able to chat with people. And joining us today is the lovely Angelica Winnett, who I have the privilege of introducing properly in a few minutes. But before we get started, you will have noticed that we are missing the lovely Penny today, and we are really missing you, Penny. She's unable to join us, but she is here with us in spirit, and we are here sending our love to you, my lovely, and looking forward to having you back. So lots of love. But no further ado, let's get ourselves started, shall we, and see how our week's been going. So let me start with the lovely Carol Ann. How's it been going for you, my darling?
Yeah, very good, thank you. What I'm really picking up on, and we have mentioned this before, about the optimism that's in the air at the moment. And some of my friends who have had health issues have been given the jab, have had their vaccine. And there's a sense of real hope that the light at the end of the tunnel is finally here. And Boris and the powers that be are letting slip. There is some good news coming our way, and we need to hear more of that. And I think there is actually an end in sight now. And I just love that feeling. And the bulbs are coming through the ground, and it's a sort of a lovely, finally, we're coming out of this dreadful tunnel. So I'm just noticing that with my clients, but generally in the air, although it's very grey outside, it's certainly kind of, there's an air of spring about it, and hope and optimism are there. So I'm just kind of relishing that at the moment.
Oh, I love it. And there is, isn't there? There just seems to be a lightening or a lifting when you're talking to people, and I think seeing people start to get the vaccination. I know my parents have just had theirs. It just gives you that sense, doesn't it, that we're starting to move through this, which is amazing to see. Lovely Sam, how about you?
Yeah, well, actually, Carol Ann has just stolen my thunder, because I was just about to say the same. In fact, I know it's only the 4th of February, but I've already coined February as being fun February, because it just feels a lot lighter. I don't know if it was just that everybody kissed goodbye to January, but everybody does feel so much more brighter in February. And yeah, it's lovely to see. I mean, my parents knocked on the door. I haven't seen them, not even online for a good month, and it was lovely to see their smiles because they've had the vaccine. So yeah, I think the vaccine is definitely working. I think morale is higher, and yeah, let's keep it.
Oh no, absolutely. There just seem a lightness, and I know for me, I was dead excited on Monday to be finally out of self-isolation. Not as much, I don't think, as my 4-year-old daughter, who skipped her way into nursery, and I kind of like, woohoo, other people, not just me. But I got that real sense from everybody that I've spoken to this week that actually coming out of January has really helped. I think, January is always every year a little bit of a tough time for us, isn't it? We've had Christmas to look forward to. We've got the bills to look forward to in January. We're possibly doing dry January, or I did red January, and you were like, oh my goodness, I've not got to exercise and not drink. And I've got not a lot to look forward to. And I think having had that news very early on in January was just the extra layer for people, wasn't it? That became a bit more challenging. And yet now we're kind of saying, we're doing this. We're finding our way through. We're finding things to be grateful for, things to look for, to be excited about, and you start to hear the good news, and actually that just allows you to hook onto it a little bit, doesn't it, and go, yeah, good news is coming, and actually you start to see more of it. So long may it continue. And now on to the lovely Angelica, who I'm delighted to have join us. So Angelica Winnett is a senior experienced videographer and video strategist working with businesses, and she specialises in art and design films with over 15 years experience in media and digital marketing. Originally from Hungary, where he worked as a broadcast news journalist before moving to the UK in 2011, falling in love with an Englishman, which I just love that part of your story. You completed your MA and have been running your own videography business since 2014, living with the man of your dreams who you moved here for, and your 7-year-old football loving son, which is just amazing to have you with us. So could you start by telling us a little bit about your journey, please, my lovely?
Oh, thank you for having me. Hi. Yes, it has been a long journey. So as you mentioned, I have my background in journalism, and actually this is partly how we met with my partner, who is also a journalist, just he is British. I am originally from Hungary. And actually 10 or 11 years ago, I came here for a fellowship, which was an international fellowship for journalists in Cambridge. And we had to write a paper and do a research. That was basically what the fellowship was focusing on. And I interviewed my current partner at the time for this paper about his experiences as a journalist, and this is how we met first. And actually it is a very romantic story, because after the first interview we started sort of dating, and then we had a long distance relationship for a year, and then a year later I decided to quit and move to the UK. And actually it proved much harder to establish myself here than I thought. I had plans, I was in love. I sort of wanted to have a career change as well, and I had everything planned. I used to work as a crime correspondent, and I wanted to broaden my knowledge in that area on a sort of like academic level. But then it proved much harder to find an employmentship as a Hungarian-speaking television reporter, and with no experience in the UK, being 30. And by then, after I finished my MA here, we had a little baby. So basically, it was a long journey, and then I decided to run my own business from 2014 after maternity leave, and after realizing that I need to update my skills. So what I did basically during maternity leave, I learned how to film, how to use a camera, how to edit, and slowly I was building up my business, or I have been building up my business since, because it's a never-ending story, and I'm learning every single day new things about being a businesswoman.
Oh, I love that. And you're right. I think, my nan used to say every day is a school day. And I think that is life, isn't it? But it's certainly life in business, because the world keeps moving and we have to keep moving with it. And I love, though, that you used your maternity to learn a new skill and catapult yourself into starting your own business. That must have been quite a decision to make.
Yes, it was. However, as I mentioned, that this decision didn't come easy. I had no experience in running my own business at all. My parents were always in employmentship, if that is the phrase or the exact word for that. So basically, none of us in the family had experiences with it before. So it was a stranger thing for me to do. But to be fair, it was a difficult journey. I was seeking jobs for quite some time, and it all ended up in sort of frustration. And basically, after a couple of years struggling with it, I just decided that I can't face it anymore. So if I can't go to the job will come to me, hopefully. And this is how I set up my business. And I think it was a good decision. It has its own challenges, of course, but it has its benefits as well, which I love. And basically, at the moment, I need to have quite a flexible schedule, because my son obviously is in school age. So pickup times, drop-offs, I'm pretty sure like loads of us facing the same challenges. Basically I can fit it in to my work quite easily.
So you mentioned that every day is like a school day, and obviously we continue to learn, and we have to continue to evolve and develop. But Angelika, what was the biggest learning in setting up your business in the early years? If we've got viewers watching that are thinking of starting a business or have just started? Where do you think your biggest learnings were in the early days?
For me, and I think it is it is just my personal experience, and I'm pretty sure it is different for everyone. For me, it is coming or get over my confidence issues. I think it was a massive challenge, as I'm pretty sure you are all coaches and deal with it a lot when you are coaching other businessmen and business women. Also, I think adding to this, my native language is Hungarian, so I'm not native English, and coming over this anxiety or burden of the language and not speaking it perfectly, I think it took away quite a time from me, and I just needed to realize after a while that, you know, there are loads of other people who do the same and they are not bothered by it, because your expertise can still show even if you don't speak the language properly, but or perfectly, not properly, because hopefully I speak it quite properly, but not perfectly, obviously. But also I build up experience in this as well. I have been living here for 10 years, so it is quite a difference between my ability to speak English now and then, especially just to go out and do public speaking and all that. But then this confidence issue hindered me from going public as well. So I haven't been present on social media for a while, for quite a long time at the beginning. So slowly, I needed to gather strength and courage to do that. And even now, and even before this interview, I told you that I'm quite nervous about it. But yeah, for me, that was the biggest challenge, actually. And then there are the small annoyances of the everyday life, loads of admin, dealing with the practicalities, and all that. And the other thing is that I always find that I don't have enough time to finish or actually just start things or do things properly. So sometimes I need to get back to work in the evening, but I'm sure that loads of us do that as well. My long-term aim is to get the evening and weekends work out of my schedule and do everything properly during the working hours.
Well, Angelica, you say that you suffered with confidence issues, but English isn't your first language. You've come from another country, or in one of the most competitive countries in the world. You're doing really, really well.
Thank you.
And confidence and courage in business is the absolute engine that drives a business. So at the moment, everyone's a superstar, everyone can be a broadcaster, everyone's got one of these. So what tips would you say, because it always is all about courage and confidence and using this for your business, what tips would you share with us and our listeners and our viewers on how to just get over the self-consciousness and fear of making your own little videos? Obviously, if they'd come to you for a professional one, but how would you suggest an entry point for people who are worried about how they look, how they sound, what they're saying?
I think it's interesting because even if I mentioned that my background is in broadcast journalism, so I used to be a television reporter, sometimes going live on camera, I still hate being on camera. I'm still nervous. I still get like loads of anxiety about it. However, I think with loads of practice, you can get used to it. And actually, if it is not if you don't want to hire someone who is a professional videographer with a proper camera, because it makes you even more anxious, and if you want to basically improve your skills on camera, you can do it yourself on your mobile phone, as you said. Also, I think whatever video it is, obviously depending on your business, on your relationship with your clients, but I think for each business owner, it is a very good practice to have some personal connection. And nowadays, nearly for a year, this personal connection, most of the time, not face-to-face, but needs to be happening digitally, if you know what I mean. So even if it is a little mobile phone, after a few go practicing it, or even like for days or for a week, you can polish your skills. And if you like it, just do it. You don't need to go live necessarily. You know, on all the social media platforms there are live features, of course, but you can just post a recorded message for your clients, or whatever you want to come across, or whatever message you want to deliver for them.
Do you think that posting videos now for SMEs, or actually for any business sizes, is becoming even more important because of the pandemic?
Very good question. I have been thinking about it a lot. Because logically that would be the direct consequence of the current situation, like face-to-face meetings, physical like connections are basically very much restricted. People can't go to shops, people can't go and basically feel the objects, materials they would like to buy. So even for a product demo, it would be a very nice thing to showcase the product to your clients on social media, or on your website, or in your web shop, and so on. So logically, I would say that probably there is a demand for videos. On the other side, of course, there is the economic consequences of the lockdown. And video, if it is a professionally shot film, it's not a cheap thing. So I think it is like a twofold consequence or direction after the pandemic. Some businesses invest more because it is vital for them to show and the product to their clients, and get engaged with the clients, and just keep that loyalty, and so on. On the other hand, of course, there will be budget restrictions, so you will need to see what is more beneficial for your business. I just have some very fresh statistics in front of me. It's from a company called Visual, and it is basically another major film production company, and they publish their statistics every year. And they dedicated a chapter in their latest statistics for the pandemic and how businesses started using the videos. What is interesting, like 40% of marketers say their plans around video marketing have been or are being affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Out of those people, 74% say the pandemic made them more likely to use video, while 26% say it became less likely. So can you see, this is the twofold consequence of the current situation. However, I think if you read through the details in the statistics, it is still overwhelmingly going towards the way businesses are likely to use more videos in their marketing. Actually, these are the statistics. My personal experience, it's really interesting to see what sort of videos and inquiries, or what inquiries come into me for what sort of videos. I can see an increase in tutorial videos, for the demand for online workshops, taking everything which happened face to face online. I can give you an example from my personal life and from my business life as well. So, for example, I have a friend who is a Pilates teacher. They live in the neighborhood and our kids are at the same school. And she has been providing free Zoom classes during the first lockdown. So we couldn't believe it. Like every Tuesday and Thursday evening, she was live and we could join in for free. And then after that, she started thinking that actually, what if it happens again? And slowly, she took her business model to a totally online-based, video-based Pilates membership business, basically. So you can pay a certain amount, and she posts new videos every week. And if it ever happens again, as it is now happening for the third time, she will be still able to provide exercises to her clients, but also her income doesn't suffer so much. Then I'm also in discussion with a workshop which offers master classes like lampshade making. You know, I specialize in art and design, so I'm really going towards that industry. And they actually, I just got an inquiry from them. They would like to create online tutorials because the face-to-face workshops can't run now. And I'm seeing it quite a lot in the creative industry, where businesses were providing workshops to people. Now they are trying to go online and do like very beautiful videos and sell the tutorials and online workshops online or the workshops online.
Fab. And you're right. I think there's been such a pivot for businesses, hasn't they, that have suddenly gone, well, I can't do what I was doing before face-to-face.
Yeah.
And I think there'd been a challenge at some point, which were like, oh, how am I going to get clients? But actually, the question is, the customer their need hasn't gone away. It's just that our ability to serve it in the way that we used to has changed. And
Yes.
then we've got to be able to take it online. So what surprises clients most when it comes to video production and kind of creating those?
Sorry, can I just have a quick question before I answer?
Of course.
So what is your experience? I would love to know, actually. What is your experience with videos and how the whole world suddenly changed? Because I assume, I'm not 100% sure that you did your work on face-to-face appointments or however you call your time with your clients. So can you share your experiences? I'm so curious.
Yeah, of course, and great question, to be fair. So I was delivering all of mine face-to-face, and we were just about to launch a new face-to-face program. Literally, We were getting ready to go a couple of weeks later, and then the first pandemic hit, and it was like, okay, awkward. I'd best learn some new skills. So had to start changing a lot of that and taking it online. And actually what it's done is make my business global. So I now have clients from around the world, because one of the benefits of doing it this way is it doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter where they are. So, you know, you mentioned earlier, Angelica, the challenges about being a mum and trying to balance your work in. Actually, for me, a big upside of this has been I no longer have the horrendous 7 to 7:20, where I used to have to get my child into nursery and get across town, parked up and on the train to be able to kind of do my face-to-face work. Because I'm keeping clients, but actually I can, you know, I don't throw her into nursery anymore. I can actually put her in there nicely. So I think there's been a lot of challenges, a lot of things that haven't gone so well, but you know, a lot of it has actually worked out for the best. But fear of the camera is still something that I'm working hard on. But
We all are. I promise. What about you, Sam and Caroline?
I don't think you're alone, Kim. I think, we always refer to you as our tech nerd because you just embrace technology really well anyway. Whereas, I've always been a bit of a technophobe. So what the last year has done to me is actually given me more confidence to embrace technology. And now this is just the new norm. You're right. I used to coach face-to-face for 8 hours a day. And now I coach remotely for 8 hours a day. And I think what it's taught me more than anything, actually, which is nothing to do with video, but more about my own paradigms, is I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to business. So what it has done, it's made me relax because, I'm at home. I mean, I've got builders here at the minute. I've got 2 children. I've got a dog. And, when I'm doing this, I don't want anything to get in the way. And of course it does. So it's made me have to relax and just, because we're all in the same boat, it's accepted. But actually, people are a lot more forgiving than I allow for. So it's taught me that about the way that I do business, which is really interesting. But like you said, I'm no longer fearful of the camera. In fact, I challenge myself with putting a video up every single day, and I just use this. And I just point it at myself, and I no longer care that I've got hair out of place or maybe I haven't got my makeup on. I just go for it. So it has absolutely transformed my thinking towards business.
Interesting, fantastic. It's so fascinating to hear anyway how confident you became after practicing it or being forced to practice it all the time. Interesting.
And Caroline, you've really transformed your business to online. So could you perhaps share that with us?
Yeah, well, the coaching academy I have is usually in person, but last year we did it online, and we had 2 people in Africa and 1 person in Greece on the call, which I wouldn't be able to have had if I'd had it in the classroom in person. And also it does make it more convenient for everyone. You're not traveling. Also, this was my great investment, one of these little clicker things. So if if you want to do a little film, you can put your telephone, your mobile on a little tripod. You've got this clicker, so you can do take after take after take without that big hand coming up to switch off all the time, which is so annoying. And yes, 22 takes to do a 1-minute film. Who cares? Who knows? I'm doing it. So this has been a great godsend. And also we've all got lockdown hair. We all look. Stop obsessing about how you look. Just do it. Progress beats perfectionism every time.
Oh, I love it.
Lovely.
I can't believe the time because we're nearly out of it. It's been such an
sorry.
No, it's been I've learned so much. It's been fascinating. I just can't believe we've nearly got to the end. So what I want to be able to do is ensure that we leave with a takeaway. So could you share with us your tip, please, Angelika, for people in business right now?
Yes, I would like to refer back to what we said about being on camera on a mobile phone or with a proper camera. I think the most important thing at the moment, just focus on your clients and give back anything you can to them. As you mentioned, we are all in the same boat. And I think businesses also need to be grateful for having clients, and also clients need to be grateful that they have amazing services around them. So to get that engagement with them, to keep them loyal and thank for them, I think if you focus just on this, on your next video or in your next video or video next video, I think you do an amazing job.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. So much we've taken away from it. Sam, my lovely, could I come to you next for your top tip?
Yeah, I'll carry on the same theme. I think feel the fear and do it anyway. Nobody's judging you. We're all in the same boat, as Caroline and Angelika have just said. We're not seeking perfection. In fact, what we love is the flaws. We love seeing the people behind the brands. We love being, what this pandemic and all of this remote videos has given us as an insight into people's worlds, not into their perfection. So feel the fear, do it anyway, and have fun. February is about fun.
I love it. I love it. Great advice. And I also love, Caroline, you always say, you know, progress beats perfection every time. And I just love that as a mantra. But I'm going to come to you for your top tip too, please.
Well, the simple phrase, "Are you Beachbody ready?" strikes a dagger of fear into every woman's heart. But I would say, are you lockdown lifting ready with your business? Because we're coming to the end of it. What are you going to do when you come flying out of the tunnel? So start thinking about that. When we are able to meet again, start being ready for that. So be lockdown lifting ready, not Beachbody ready, but lockdown lifting ready for your business.
I love that. Well, great thought is actually, you know, we are coming out and we know, you know, the Beachbody bit does fill us all with dread. But actually, the end bit, the bit that we've got, is the amazing holiday. And actually, you know, we've had a long time of being in this darkness, and thinking about lifting our way out of it and stepping back into the light, I think it was just an amazing way to hopefully finish up our first episode in Fun February. Angelika, it's been an absolute joy to talk to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
We are too. Ladies, it's a delight as always. Thank you to everybody who is watching us. If you would like to be here and be in Angelika's chair, then please do get in touch at www.businessblondes.tv. And we will look forward to seeing you all next week. In the interim, have an amazing Fun February. Take care.
Bye.